Shalom, shalom. All righty. So we got some guests in the house. We're going to be sharing the video out. If you got some friends you think that can benefit from this, please share this out, because we're finding out that not only do we have to take back our health, but we have to do all that is in our power to exercise every right to make sure that we are doing all the necessary to get our health intact, to get, you know, all the things that's going to allow us to live healthy currently in this day. And so I'm excited about, you know, what we're doing, you know, here with all of our health platforms, you know, Herbally Defined, Trilogy Sports, you name it. We are absolutely taking advantage of every opportunity to live healthy and be a part of all the things that is going to cause us to help you and help ourselves achieve optimal health. And that's what it's about here in this hour. All right, so we'll be with you guys here in a second. We're sharing out the post to a few more people, and I myself and Sister Gabby will be appearing.
No sleep? Yeah, I was feeling where you are, you just fell asleep. I was like, go on in.
We're live. All right, we got 12 guests on this. We just shared it out again. So if you just coming in, we'll be coming in clear here in a second. And glad that you all can be here with us and be a part. And we're excited. Let Sister Gabby take it away. thank you all for being with us. We're here with, the Herbally Defined platform. And so, about to bring Sister Gabrielle on camera here so we can go ahead and get this thing started. But
my face ashy.
all right. So we shared the video. We shared it, Crystal. I shared it on my page.
Oh, I was trying to share it on mine.
And I don't know where else. Where else would you like us to share it?
Was you able to get this downloaded, honey?
I was not.
Okay. Is it about to make me log in or something?
All right. So, I don't know if you guys can see that on page 1, but basically,
Oh, she said she asking the viewers to share.
oh yeah, gotcha. All right, so let us go ahead and get started. We don't want to be all night in presentation and what we're doing and keeping you all too long, but let's go ahead and get this night kicked off so you can understand what it is. So I'll go ahead and let Gabrielle kind of introduce herself and introduce, Mother's Herbal Instinct, better known as Herbally Defined, and we'll go with that. All right, you're on.
Peace and blessings, you all. I am streaming right now just from the Herbally Defined page, and if this is your first time viewing or tuning into my YouTube channel, or should I say our YouTube channel that I run, this channel is pretty much geared to us developing awareness about our health internally, mentally, and spiritually. And so today, we're going to talk about getting back on the path of eating what's suitable for our genetic structure. And I guess that's pretty much it. And then whatever questions y'all have, because I'm like question oriented. If you ask me a question, then I can go into more detail, because it's kind of broad when you're talking about your health and what you want to do and where you are. So hopefully today we get some enlightenment, a little bit more in depth on how to get our insides functioning properly.
All right. So, if you will, so one of the things I want to talk about on why we are doing this, why we are participating in a program like this, it's because, we are in the midst of a, society, and we're in the midst of a time where we have been led. And, if you watched our last teaching, our last message, last week, I talked about how we have been so misguided in what we eat, finding out that, number one, being melanated people, there's certain nutritions that's out there for us. There's certain things that you should absolutely be getting in to benefit you, versus like we saw in the teaching last week, we saw that there are those who considered to be of the USDA, who have already put together a nutritional guideline, and we find that this nutritional guideline does not fit us at all. You know, we are, you know, in a time now that we got to make sure that we do what's best for us. And so this is what this is about. So, you know, looking at this front sheet here, we find that there's a few different items there that we want you all to pay attention to. So if you're here viewing and you're watching and you're looking at this, then I want you all to pay attention to, you know, the content that we have here on page 1. And so when you talk about, you know, healthy and being healthy, then we want to make sure that we are positioned totally, 100%, you know, to receive all the things that's going to be beneficial to our body. That's the main thing that, you know, we're going to talk about. That's one of my journeys, that when I was looking at, you know, where I've been, you know, I've played sports. I've done, you know, many different things to enhance my health. And so what I've found is that, you know, over the course of eating, you know, and over the course of, you know, surviving and being someone who's health conscious, you know, I found that there's a number of different things I wanted to do, you know, considering my mom died from cancer. But, you know, more importantly, you know, I found that really the guidelines that I were given out as a personal trainer, you know, to get someone to be healthy, really wasn't the most, you know, healthiest. You know, it wasn't the greatest ideas, because everybody is different and everybody has a way that they are to you know, really pay attention to how their body responds, number one, to what you get in it, you know, because if I subscribe to you that you need a certain number of proteins, a certain number of fats, and a certain number of carbs, well, guess what? That's not necessarily, you know, how we should adjust and have our bodies, right? You know, what was one of the things that you found out concerning this?
Well, one of the things that I found out that made is such an urgency for us to change what we were doing, what we were eating, what we were drinking, was that our stomach flora and our genetic material that we were created with from the beginning, it's never changed.
Right.
And in fact, it would take thousands of years for it to even change slightly. So when you discover that your stomach flora has never changed, and you come from a generation of people who were not born here in this region where we are living,
right, then
that means that, okay, the only way to actually nourish or to allow you to effectively operate the way that your body was designed to operate is if you're getting the same type of diet, the same type of nutrition, the same type of foods from the area or the region that your people were from. And so that's what I discovered. And I think that's what was the push with the urgency to make sure that we do our best to eat exactly what it is, drink exactly what it is, that our ancestors have eaten and drinking, because even though we had an environment change, an environment shift, our bodies, how we were made, the genetic structure never has changed. And so that's what brings into play all these different diseases. If you guys watched the sugar video we did, I think, was it 2 weeks ago? Maybe 2 weeks ago, I kind of went into a little bit of detail showing how the drastic effects that we have negatively on our bodies is because when we were created, we never had a gene within our body structure, within our biological genome that was specifically designed or turned on to process that sugar.
Right.
And so this is why we have this detrimental effect to our people as a whole when sugar is consumed.
Right. So, in that, let us go out to the sheet, and you may want to pull up YouTube and see how many people are commenting. I don't know if we are going to be able to go off screen to download.
Okay.
But anyway, so right here with our 21-day, mucus reducing cleanse, why are we doing it? So let's look more in depth. Number one, male virility. All right, so we found out that men, sometimes the reason why men are having a hard time with erectile dysfunction and a lot of other things is that incompetency. They are they're clogged up. The system is just full of pus and full of mucus, full of different things that hinder blood flow, distribution of nutrients, distribution of oxygen throughout the body. So there's a lot of different processes that are hindered and that are affected because of what people are putting in their body. We're looking to improve women's health, in terms of the level of homeostasis. We want to help the body to build enzymatic function to repair tissue and rupture DNA. Now, Sister Gabby, what is that? What should women, when we talk about building up enzymatic function and repair to tissue and rupture DNA, what should our audience understand about that? Just in short, we'll keep moving.
Okay, in short, I kind of went over enzymes a little bit in the last video that we did, and their role that they play within the human body and how important they are. Reiterating, the enzymes is the power to life. Once your enzymes is depleted, the natural source of energy that you were designed with, that you were given when breath was given into you, once that is depleted, you expire. And so with the typical diet that we have now here, being in the Americas, you're not eating any foods that give the enzymes to be able to repair. Enzymes go into the body to help repair and restore tissue that has been damaged through, trauma or damaged through poor health. And with the diet that we eat, your body never has time to actually repair itself. And so when you go through a series of fasting or you go through a series of detoxing and cleansing, that allows the body to go ahead and build up the enzymatic function to do what your body's already naturally designed to do. The enzymes are naturally designed to go in and repair whatever was messed up, much like a beehive. If we go and we stick our finger in a honeycomb and we mess it up, if you come back the next day, it'll be repaired.
Right.
But if you never stop poking holes in it or continuing to eat poorly, you'll never have the chance for it to go ahead and repair itself. Mm-hmm. So much like the bees go ahead and work to repair itself because they're given that time to do it, is the same thing that we have to do with our body. So the enzymatic process and the enzymatic function automatically is going to increase and go up because you're not putting foods in there, which is going to tell the brain, okay, there's food coming in, now we have to stop repair and start digestion. Mm-hmm. And so hope that helped. I don't know, hopefully that makes sense.
No, I believe it helped a great deal. I do. But again, as we continue to go down, one of the other things is to repair and restore the liver, kidneys, adrenals, and digestive tract. Now that is, that's huge. Those are the things, it's one of the things I deal with when I deal with my clients in terms of having them to really position themselves to maximize on getting the best results. All right. So number one, when I take a client through a fitness program, one of my first things is, number one, we know we have to change the way we eat. We have to change nutritionally. We have to change on the process of looking at what we do with our daily schedule, our regimen. How are we going to maximize this process? And then in doing those things, one of the most important things is now, once you change all those things around in terms of how you're going to eat, you know, how you're going to exercise, you have to be able to have maximum absorption. Okay, when people don't have maximum absorption, now that's where we get into the problem of folks not getting the necessary distribution of nutrients throughout the body so that the body can function during workouts, that it can work out optimally, it can work out at a high level, and not only that, but once you're done working out, then the body can repair properly. And so that's what we have issues with. And so we're taking a different approach, you know, to this, because, you know, so many folks are running into the issue of not doing the things that are necessary to stay healthy. And in fact, there's a lot of bad information out there. There's a lot of, you know, folks who aren't able, you know, to do the things that you know, that you can do, the things that you are going to experience with this program that we're in. And so what has to happen is that you guys are joining in, and you're being a part of something that is going to be extremely great. So let us continue down the process and see, you know, what we have in store here. So the other things, you know, that you want to bring to mind is about ailments in the body. All right. Ailments in the body are, you know, some things that all of us are finding that more and more people in America are becoming sick. More and more people in America are experiencing different things in the body. I was just talking to some folks the other week, and they were just talking about different growths that were, you know, that they're finding that are appearing over the body. So, you know, what I want to do, I don't know if we're going to go offline. I need to push a few buttons here, but if we go offline, you know, I don't know if somebody's watching that, then I'll just, you know, click back over on this screen. I've never attempted this before. I've never tried it, but hopefully it doesn't go offline here. But let's see here. Let me look at this. All right. So here, well, anyway, I'll do it here in a second. I was going to try something to see how this is going to work. But anyway, you know, many times we experience different pains, illnesses, diseases in our bodies because of improper internal intake and external upkeep. To accomplish vitality, what you put in your body is the most important. You have to give your body the proper fuel to have optimal results. Our bodies were physically designed to be, to move efficiently and effectively as long as we are full of life. Exercise and movement are vital for obtaining optimal health alongside with a transformed eating lifestyle. So there we go. Key thing, transformed eating lifestyle. And this is what is the most profound thing to me. You know, we have I believe we may share the link here later, but what I found is that, you know, really in studying what it meant to be peculiar according to what, you know, we were doing in terms of spiritual growth, then we start to see that, you know, the things that you put out concerning everybody, you know, that you give one diet for all people. You give, you know, a one size fit all for the nutrition guideline that should be for me, and that is absolutely not true. And so as we go on, you know, and I know, and let me go back because I know we missed a few things, but you know, concerning this cleanse that we're going to do, which I'm highly excited about. We have some different things that we like you to acquire, all right, that we want you to get. You know, some of the herbs that we're going to be using during this cleanse, you know, I'll let Sister Gabby share those with you. You know, so what are some of those herbs?
We have the turmeric, we have ginger, we have garlic, and we have dandelion root.
So why are we going to, you know, share those?
All of these herbs are really good herbs to help with the gastrointestinal tract. Your ginger and your garlic is really good for that. Your dandelion root is a good detoxifier. And then your turmeric as well is good for inflammation. So anytime that you have mucus build up in the body, there is going to be inflammation. And so having a natural substance being ingested into the body is going to allow for better penetration, for it to actually get through the cell walls, get through the vessel walls, any type of tissue. Anytime that you use something natural, it has a better chance of getting absorbed into the system than anything synthetic.
Gotcha. All right. So then in process, you know, with what we're doing, you know, because you have a product here, you know, that is one of the main products that you want people to get in, and I'm gonna see if I can get that to pull up on the screen. Everyone, give me a second. I hope if it goes down, then we'll bring it right back up. All right.
You guys can still see us.
Which email did you send it to?
Agile.
Okay.
Yep. They can still see.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Let's see what happens here.
Yep, it's still there.
All right. Perfect.
And the other one.
Got 'em both.
Oh, okay.
All right. Good. So we're still there. So, all right. One of the things, you know, that we're going to do, and this will be primarily during the 21-day phase of the program, because we have a few different phases that we're going to be going through. But you know, we have some teas that we're going to be consuming. I want you to talk about those teas, Gabby.
Yes. So the teas that I have listed on the 21-day herb cleanse chart that you guys see now, which if you had emailed, you all received this same chart. It should be in your email. If you hadn't had a chance to go check it, you can actually pull it up and go along with us as we're going through it. But I chose these specific teas because a lot of these teas are detoxers, they're immune builders, they're digestive tract soothers, they're anti-inflammatory, and they are full of vitamin C. If you don't know, anytime that you're entering into a cleanse, what happens is your body begins to expel everything. So that means it's expelling its vitamins, it's expelling its minerals, it's expelling the hydration that you have. And so most cleanses that you purchase in the store are not equipped to put back in their vital nutrients to allow you to still have the energy to still be able to move even though you're detoxing. And so that means your immune system can crash while you're doing a detox because you're having an overload of toxins and parasites and heavy metals that are all being pushed out into the bloodstream and then all being pushed out into you know, your bowel and your urine, and so you feel really kind of icky. And so with these teas, you're getting a dose of vitamin C in there. You're getting antioxidants put back into your system. You're getting a boost of energy. Ginger is really good with that. Lemon is really good with that. You're just getting a lot of good benefits from these teas. I have it on the sheet. I'm not sure exactly. But you have green tea, you have black tea, you have echinacea purpuree, you have lemon ginger tea, turmeric tea, chai tea, which is one of my favorites. We like the chai tea. Blackberry tea, hibiscus tea, and elderberry tea. There's many teas that you can choose, but those are the ones that I think are the best to take when you're doing a cleanse or a detox.
Gotcha.
And so these are the simple ones also. You should be able to find this even at Walmart. Walmart has a nice selection of organic teas, I believe. I haven't been there in a while. I normally get the echinacea from there when we go, if we need to just grab something when we're out of state somewhere. But the teas that are listed, these should be easy to find in any store. If you don't have your natural grocers, if you don't have a Sprouts, if you don't have a Whole Foods, you should be able to find it at Price Chopper or Walmart, or, you know, I don't know any other food chains that are in other states, but those are the common food stores. So that's why I picked those teas, so you can have easy access to those.
All right, so, you know, right up here above my head, you know, all right, here,
Is it?
all right, there, okay, yeah,
Right
there. Right there above my head. We're talking about the Colo cleanse, all right? So, you know, this is, you know, a part of the startup that we're, you know, bringing to you all. And so, what's the significance in the Colo cleanse? You know, because we're going to use this in the first, you know, 14 days of the process. So, what is it about the Colo cleanse that we want to talk about? Like any specific way we're going to take this? Any notes that you want to give the people?
Yes. Well, that's both of ours. Well, the Colo cleanse is a 100% herb cleanse. It's all herbs, and I really like this cleanse because it detoxes heavy metals that aren't supposed to be in your system. It detoxes toxins, of course. It detoxes parasites, and so most cleanses don't do that. You normally have to buy 2 to 3 cleanses to get all of those different types of benefits, and it's all herbs. And then you have at least 2 to 3 herbs that actually help with elimination. So for someone who has a hard time going to the restroom, they're irregular, there's a few herbs, there's about 2 to 3 herbs in here that is specifically geared towards allowing you to eliminate.
And what are those, if you don't mind? If you want,
you have your Cascara. Forgive me, y'all. Some of these words is Cascara sagrada bark, which is a laxative, a known laxative. You have your sienna leaf, which is a laxative, and you have plum and prune in there, which we all know is laxative. If you had a grandma, anytime you said your stomach hurt, the remedy was prune juice and castor oil.
oh man.
And so you have those in there, and then you also have psyllium husk, which is high in fiber. So this Colo cleanse is high in fiber, and it's also high in vitamin C, which you normally don't get in your, you know, your over-the-counter cleanses. And so you also have echinaceas in here too. So this cleanse, at the same time as detoxing you, is building your immune system as well, so that you don't have that crash that people normally experience when they do cleanses or detoxes. There is precautions to the Colo cleanse that I want to talk about, and that is if you're nursing, if you're a breastfeeding mom, you don't want to take it. You don't want to take it. And if you are pregnant, you don't want to take it. There are other alternatives you can do which I have included and incorporated in the document that is sent out, that is just as effective, just not as strenuous as the Colo cleanse, but it will still allow you to detox at a moderate level. And so if you are allergic to black walnut, I know that there are some people who have nut allergies. There is black walnut in the Colo cleanse, and that is a really good parasite exposure. that expels all parasites. Okay, so what you will notice, which I normally try to tell people, when you're taking the Colo cleanse, you will see some parasites come out if you are full of them, and you will see it in the toilet. Your stool will be completely different than what it looks like outside of taking the Colo cleanse. And I briefly go over and explain that as well in the document that we have put up on the screen, and the document that I sent out an email to those who requested. So your bowel will be different, and you will be able to see, you know, the little specks.
Oh yeah.
And the worms.
A lot, you know.
If you have worms,
right?
Everybody has worms, but there are some of us who has like an abundance of worms where you can notice, you can really see them.
All right. Yeah. Well, you know, with that, you know, you all had a chance to, you know, move in such a way that you hear Sister Gabby talk about those different things. What we're going to do is now we're going to go and talk about, you know, some of the foods. You know, I pulled that up on the screen. So some of the foods that we're going to do during the 21 days, and this, I want you to really pay attention to this as Gabby talks about this, all right? Because this is highly important. You know, you want to make sure that you do this correctly, that you don't, you know, that you don't put yourself at any compromise. Because I'm talking about this because I know that this level of cleanse that we're getting ready to go take ourselves through, we don't want you to position yourself in such a way that you, number one, that you do not, all right, any way, shape, form, or fashion that you don't backtrack, because you can't get good, solid, key foods in, good foods that you know, that positions your body to rid those things that are harmful, and then you can't immediately go back and start putting those harmful synthetics back in the body because it's going to do more harm. Okay, so you got to follow this. That's why we're doing this. Is a 21-day mucus reducing cleanse that we're doing, but we're going through a 90-day process, of a whole preparatory type of situation here, preparatory type of process that allows you now to not only learn how to cleanse, you know, because we've been gathering this information for a long time. We started long ago when, you know, we had some things going on with our you know, our two oldest boys. You know, we had Gabriel, you know, he used to throw up all the time.
Yes.
And, you know, the more, you know, we noticed that, you know, when we ate wheat, he began to grow pustules around his joints. And so, you know, what really sparked that for you, you know, Gabby, in terms of like trying to really figure this thing out?
I would say that the children having a difficult time eating, and then, you know, with the ailments we were dealing with your back, and I mean, just not being able to find a solution with what seemed to be something common.
Right.
And so I think that's what started the whole process and the journey of trying to figure out, okay, exactly what's going on. Is it the food?
Right.
It has to be the food, because the only time you experience flare-ups or the vomiting or the skin irritations, it will come immediately after they have eaten something.
Right. And, you know, one of the things that excited me about, you know, Gabby, I remember when she first enrolled to, you know, to become a certified, you know, herbalist, you know, she really, you know, she was bringing all the excitement back home, all the things that excited us, the most about, you know, the things, the changes that were going to come. So, you know, along with all of the people, you know, the people we have come across, you know, you have Dr. Sebi, you have even the new brother that we have come across, you know, Brother Yahki. That brother is knowledgeable about a lot of different things. And in fact, I was talking to Elder Rufus today, and he edified and stamped and sealed off on the same thing, that this brother knows what he's talking about. It's just great what's happening for us, for our people, and for people in general, you know, that's in this war, seeing how we are being brought to such a lower state of health, so that people can really capitalize on our lower state of health. So let's look at this. Let's read off the food list, and you know, let people know what it is that we're going to be participating in.
Okay, so what I have listed under foods is everything that you're not gonna eat. Because we have a tendency, when I say we have a tendency, I do it too, is when we're told what we can eat, we add in, okay, can we eat this, can we eat that, can we eat that? So I start off with what you're not going to eat, and that completely limits the list all the way down to just a specific category of foods. And so if you don't have the sheet is on it's on screen right now. You should be able to see it, but this is going to start during the first 21 days. Okay, so on the sheet before this one that just came up, the first sheet that we were on, no, it's not on the first sheet, it's on the sheet after this. You're going to see that we have the 3 different stages that we're going to go through, which Pastor just went over, talking about how this is going to be a 90-day process. So the first stage is the 14 days. In the 14 days, you can eat what I have suggested on the intake sheet. You'll see the intake layout sheet once we get there. But this is what we're going over right now is specifically during the 21 days, okay? And so during the 21 days, the only foods that you will consume, or you're allowed to be ingested into your body, are green, red, and yellow. And this means vegetables, okay? This does not mean you go
hot tamales,
eat a red hot tamale, yellow Twinkie, no. Green now and later, no, you can't eat none of that, okay? I'm talking about vegetables. And so if you look, after I mention that, it goes immediately to what you're not going to eat. Do not consume any of these category foods for the first 21 days, okay? So when you enter into the 21-day cleanse, you're eating no meat, no dairy, no cereals, no beans, no nuts and seeds, no processed food of any kind. Processed food isn't just food from McDonald's, fast food restaurants, going in Quick Trip and getting you a donut. Processed foods include packaged nuts that are got the little sugar and the little salt on there. It includes, you know, the children's little yogurt covered fruit. It includes the dehydrated fruits that come in the packages. So even though we love the dehydrated fruits and the trail mix, this is a no-no, okay? You're not going to eat that. That's considered a processed food. You're not going to eat any candy, any sweets, of course, no acidic or fermented foods, distilled drinks, syrups, no sauces, no vegetarian or vegan processed foods. All of the boxed foods that you purchase in the store that are pre-made, that's considered a processed food, even if it's vegan or vegetarian. You're not eating any of that, okay? No 100% pasteurized fruit juice. No oils of any kind. So that means you're not cooking your food with oils. You're not doing any salts and spices. So that means your food that you're going to be eating is bland. You're not adding any seasonings to it, okay? No starchy or fatty vegetables and fruits of any kind. The reason that all of these are mentioned and they're posted is because all of these are mucus forming, okay? Even if they're mucus forming on a low level. And right now we're doing a mucusless cleanse. So we don't want anything in our system that's going to, you know, counteract against us trying to remove the excess and the buildup of mucus.
Right, right. So you hear that. So now that you hear that, before we even move on, all right, if you are still down after hearing that, give us a thumbs up so that we know that you're still with us. Give us just post in the comments, I am with you. All right, because I already know how hard it's going to be. There's a lot of information that we've gathered concerning this, and I found that especially when she gives the what to expect aspect of this, you're going to find out people are going to back down. People are not necessarily going to want to do this. So here it is, and water. When we are going through the 21 days, at minimum, you want to ingest 1 gallon of pure water. When you say pure water, what are you talking about, Gabby?
Water that's not from the tap.
Right. No tap water.
No tap water. And I'm telling you, some of y'all get them bottled waters. Sam's Choice is tap water. Great Value is tap water. One of the Fiji, is it Fiji water? Fiji water
it's
is tap
a trick.
Water.
Fiji water is a trick.
I encourage you guys to go on, I should have got the link. Go on YouTube and type in pH tested water.
Raw vegetables.
I think it's pH tested water. And they've tested every single water that people, it's this couple. It's this married couple. They bought every single water that they normally see people buy. The core waters on there. All your little fancy waters are on there. The one that got the little shapely, that's on there. And then they have the Walmart distilled water and the Walmart spring water. And what they did was they took the pH strips and they tested each and every last water. And let me tell you, you'd be surprised which waters were actually testing to be the 7.9 and 8.0. Their labels were misleading, and so you want water that is pure, not the tap water. You don't want those waters that's coming right directly out of the faucet where you can taste it. I can actually smell the water. I don't know if anybody else got to that point where they can smell whether or not they're drinking tap water or pure water, but you can take the cap off and you can literally smell if there's chlorine in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I smell it when people turn their tap water on. You can smell it when you go in their house. I can. I don't know if anybody else can. But when you start drinking pure water, it like activates the senses in your body that should have been activated already, because we're so loaded down with stuff. You can't tell what's real food and what's fake food.
Right.
But now I can. And so any water that's not tap water, spring water, your alkaline water, but like I said, you want to test it. I have pH strips at home, and I test us, and I will test our water to even see if it's accurate. Because you're spending money.
Exactly.
We don't have our own spring outside. That would be lovely.
Exactly. So, looking at these things, I'm glad that, you all are here with, Mother's Herbal Instincts here with Herbally Defined, looking at the things that are necessary. So, we've touched those things that are important. Now, what we're going to do now, we're going to pull up on the screen, the layout, all right, the intake layout, so you can get a good look at that, all right. Some of y'all received the email already, some of y'all have not, but this is what the intake schedule is going to look like, during that first 14 days, all right, that first 14 days, okay. And what we want to do, within that first 14 days, we've laid out, breakfast, AM snack, midday teas, okay, lunch, PM snack, dinner, and a night tea, okay. And so this is designed in such a way that it's going to allow you to begin to experience some great results. But you have to set your mind to being a part of this. You have to set your mind into doing this, because right now you're going to go from this week, eating steak and shake, eating, fazoli's. I don't know, I don't know what folks are eating. I can admit, I
like the fazoli breadsticks.
Yes, I've indulged a little bit this week. I've gotten some lemon pepper wings in, because I know I'm about to nosedive, and actually Friday, I think I'm gonna do something different with my body. But definitely, we're starting Monday. We're gonna start Monday. But here's the deal. Let's talk about day one breakfast. All right, I want you to talk about that for a second, Sister Gabby. What do we got on day one breakfast starting Monday?
Okay, starting Monday, what we have on day one breakfast, which is this is during your 14-day pre. Mm-hmm. What do you have on there? Pre-stage?
Yeah, that's so this is your on the 14 days what we have here.
Yeah, so this intake that we're talking about is the pre-stage. This is during the 14-day protocol. So starting Monday, what I have on here for the first day breakfast is you have 4 slices of watermelon. Now, I'm not talking about seedless watermelon. 4 slices of natural, organic, seeded watermelon. If it comes from your own garden, or if you have to go to Natural Grocers or Sprouts, you want a seeded watermelon. 2 ounces mixed with cantaloupe and honeydew. And you can do 1 cup sauteed kale with mushrooms and onions. That's our typical breakfast that we eat outside of just eating fruit. And we actually tested this week. We actually started eating breakfasts just like this. This whole first week we did nothing but the fruits and the sauteed kale,
right?
The sauteed spinach, and you know what? It actually was really good. And I'm not a fruit eater, for all of you all who know me. I think I say it all the time, like on my videos. I don't eat fruit, but I survived. I survived eating the watermelon and the cantaloupe, and it was fulfilling. You look at the menu, you're like, what? 4 slices of watermelon and then a couple of pieces of cantaloupe and honeydew. I'm supposed to be full. Yeah. It was satisfying. A lot of us don't understand, or we've been taught wrong. We've been taught that you eat until you're full instead of eating until you're not hungry.
Right.
Eating until you no longer have that urge to keep putting food in your mouth, okay? You're not supposed to eat till you're full. And that's what we've been taught over here in this Western society with this type of diet. You eat until your stomach is satisfied, you're no longer hungry, and then you're good. And this right here, what we have on here for the breakfast, is exactly what it's going to do. Once you eat that, you're going to be fine.
Yep. One of the things, Gabby, that I want to bring to light is that, I found something.
They said they proud of me. I ate some fruit. I did it, y'all. I didn't pass out.
Right. She did well.
My face, I'm not going to lie, my face was kind of contorted as I was eating it, but my husband was there and I survived. What's so crazy is that, I found that
we're doing some research and just looking at the things behind getting, what should I say, getting fruit in, and what we found, what we have been calling fruit is not really fruit. It's actually a lot of those vegetables that we thought were fruits. A lot of vegetables that we thought were vegetables.
So I've been eating fruit all along, guys.
They're actually.
It just wasn't sweet.
They're actually fruit.
Cucumber is a fruit.
Right.
We already know tomatoes is a fruit. Zucchini is a fruit. Squash is a fruit. Those are fruits, and I eat it. So I was already eating fruit. So I just wasn't eating the sweet fruit.
So really quick, let's talk about we're going to be getting in the midday tea. What is that going to serve? As we get that in before lunch, what are you expecting out of that?
The midday tea serves the purpose of continuing to build up the immune system and helping with the detox as well. Blackberry will help with the detox as well as building up the immune system, putting antioxidants into your body, which you're going to need. You need the antioxidants. And then the echinacea, same thing. So the first week, the first 2 weeks, I have those teas specifically for building up the immune system. So that way when you enter into the 21-day cleanse, you're going in strong.
Right. And so here's breakfast from Monday morning.
Yes, that's
All
Monday
right.
morning breakfast.
So here's breakfast from Monday morning. I mean, you can see the definition in the meal. I mean, it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. You know, you can look and see. We had papaya. You know, what was on the papaya? I mean, explain, what is all of that stuff on the papaya?
That was my additive.
All right, I mean,
because I didn't know if people was gonna eat it. I don't know.
it was good.
Papaya.
So I think we had like organic.
It was coconut shreds.
Maple coconut shreds. We had.
And I put
pecans.
some pecans, honey roasted pecans sprinkled on top of it, so it made it more appeasing to the children.
Right. And so then you see we have watermelon, and then we have that sauteed kale?
That's the sauteed kale with the you have red onions and the king oyster mushrooms. So when I mention mushrooms, because I want to make sure I mention this to you all, there's certain mushrooms that you want to eat once you get to after the 21-day cleanse, when we're actually going to start eating food. I recommend the king oyster mushrooms or the portobello mushrooms. Okay, they're very high in vitamin D. They're very good. They're really good. They're a good meat substitute for those of us who have to have that meat feeling.
Right.
Don't do the shiitake mushrooms. They're not alkaline. They're acidic.
Right. So make sure you take heed to that, because you know, it's not, you know, that we're trying to steer you away from something that you love, but more so that we're trying to get you in step and in gear with you know, fulfilling this process, this whole 90-day process, the way it needs to go. So we have another product, you know, that's associated. We're going to go through the plan overview here in a second on what, you know, what exactly you need, which we talked about some of those things. We're also going to talk about, you know, what it is that how this process is going to work, how we're going to move through 90 days. We broke it up because one of the things about doing something 90 days, well, number one, it takes 21 days to build a habit.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're taking your body, you know, sort of through a, when we call the pre-stage protocol. It's to get your body ready, because some people, you will go into this and if you go into it too fast and you don't understand what's happening, your body will go into what's called hexingers. And so that means that, man, you would be pushing stuff out crazy.
Too fast.
People have different type of like knee-jerk reactions, you know, to cleansing too fast, all right? But anyway, we have a product, again, that's above my head, okay? And so what we have here is, what do we have, Gabby? I mean, what is this? What is this product called?
Okay, this is the Vegetarian Digestism, and this is specially formulated for those who are going to be eating like going into a lifestyle where you're not eating dairy, you're not eating meat, and it's specifically formulated for that type of diet. What it does is it puts in the digestive enzymes that are needed to function properly. And so, like I said, most of us don't have functioning enzymes in our body because we don't eat a diet full of enzymes. And so we're depleting our natural enzymes. So this enzyme is just a multi-blend which supplies your proteins, your acids, stable proteins, your amylase, lipase, cellulase, lactase, papain, which you get from your papaya, and your bromelain, which you get from your pineapples. Like if you're somebody like me who don't eat pineapples, because the fruit, well, I'm gonna try, y'all. this would be good for me. I will get the bromelain through the vegetarian digest enzyme. So this is especially good for us entering into this 21-day cleanse, so you can build up the enzymes in your system, and that way it doesn't have to take from your natural stored enzymes that your body already has.
Gotcha. All right, so what we have on the screen here, we're talking about the process, and here you see we have the pre-stage 14-day protocol that we're going to be looking at, that we're going to be going through, and I want you all to make sure that you pay close attention to detail with this. So we're going to move through this pretty fast. We won't hold you any longer than what we've already been holding you all. But if you pay attention, this pre-stage protocol is for removing heavy metals, parasites, and excessive waste. That's strictly what that's about. You can see here's our daily routine here. Now these times are just general times to show you how we have spaced out the intake schedule. But you don't have to, if you start your day earlier than this, then if you start your day at 5 a.m., then guess what? You want to get up at 5 a.m. and you want to get where you see colo, you want to get the colo cleanse in during that time. Then you see you're not going to eat anything, all right, until you get to the 10 a.m., all right, during this deal, all right. So here where you got water, you can begin to start to get your intakes in. Okay. Now, pretty much this is where you can kind of customize in terms of like your breakfast. You saw on the chart, because this is, remember, this during this 14 days you're going to utilize that intake chart to get your meals in. All right. So you can start your breakfast in, at 10 a.m. You can, or you can get it in at a time before, whatever fits your schedule, basically, because I know some of y'all have different aspects based on your work schedule, and so you have to customize this based on your schedule as well. But here you definitely want to be making sure that you're loading up the colo cleanse 3 times a day. You can rearrange it at 7, 2, and 6. If
you're able.
However it fits your schedule. But here's a precautionary that I want Gabby to make sure that she highlights for you all. For this.
Okay. So with the colo cleanse, the precautionary measure is you want to make sure that you're paying attention to your body. Okay. Some of us have never detoxed before, and to start off with too much too fast could kind of hurt us. So I always recommend try just the 1 scoop and then see how your body responds. If you notice when you take the 1 scoop and you didn't notice anything, you didn't go to the bathroom, you didn't feel any change, okay, then you can institute the 2nd scoop. Okay, if you notice when you take the 2nd scoop that, okay, you felt the slight headache, you felt kind of woozy, and okay, so stay there. Don't do the 3rd scoop, just do the 1 scoop. Just do the 2 scoops a day, and that will go out. That will carry you for 3 weeks. So just know that if you don't do the full protocol, which is it's 1 scoop 3 times a day, that you will probably extend out into maybe 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks to complete the whole jar. The goal is to get the whole jar done, because the whole jar is 16 ounces and it's formulated to do exactly what it says it's going to do. So if you prolong it or elongate the process, you may not get the full benefit or the effect that the product is guaranteeing will happen. Okay, you don't want to take 1 scoop today and then skip 4 days and then go take 2 scoops and then skip another 4 days. It's not going to work like that.
So Gabby, what if I say, okay, all right, I see they have an intake schedule, and I don't like anything that they have on there. I don't like watermelon, I don't like blackberry tea, I don't like echinacea tea, I don't like nothing. You know what I mean? So all I want to eat is Big Macs and large fries and Cokes. All right. How's that going to change and manipulate what we're doing here in the first phase?
How's it going to change in the first phase? Before they get to the 21 days? I think you're going to hit rock bottom. Like if you start off eating like that,
Right.
and then you go into immediate detox phase, your body's not going to be able to handle the detoxification, because it's going to detox. When you start taking the cleanse, your body's going to go into detox mode, and what's going to happen is all those foods that you ate for those 2 weeks, those 14 days, is going to just pile on you. All the toxins that just came in it, on top of the toxins that you already had built up in your system from years, which is a question on here somebody asked, want to address. By us eating unhealthy for so long, how will our bodies act when changing our diets? What's going to happen is, if you're not preparing the body, you're going to go through that Hexinger's syndrome that we were talking about, where you're going to feel literally the weight of all of those toxins being removed from the organs in your body, from the tissues in your body. It's going to be removed into your bloodstream, and you are going to feel so bad that you're going to think that this was the worst decision that you made and that it doesn't work for you. And that's what we're trying to get away from. And so you want to make sure that you're slowly going into the process. Doing the first 14 days of actually eating food, these foods that are actually on this sheet are foods that naturally detox your body already. So it's going to kind of start a slow, like a minimal detox of elimination of, you know, what you already have built up. So it's going to trigger your body into already detox mode.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then when you enter into the 21-day fast, it's just going to help it kick into it a little bit more intense.
Right.
So if you go in there eating Big Macs, I'm telling you now, you're not going to, that's going to be very hard on your body. You're going to want to give up.
Right. You're not going to make it. So, you know, what we have on the screen now, we've pulled up now the aspect where we're going into the 21 days of the mucus elimination. And so,
can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, addressing the question too. How will our bodies react when changing our diets? I know for me, because I've eaten this way for so long, for me, it seems as though, mentally, for me, it seems as though I don't like fruit. You see what I mean? I don't like juice. I can't eat this. And the reason it's like that is because of what I'm already, the lifestyle that my body has gotten used to. But what's going to happen is when we do the detox, it's going to remove all of these foreign substances, synthetic fibers, synthetic, whatever's left in my body that has caused this, genetic shift that has changed how my taste buds function and operate. The detox is going to reconfigure. It's going to jumpstart every organ in my body to where I'm going to receive a new set of taste buds. So after detoxing, the things that I said I don't like, I probably will like, because this is what was designed for my body to ingest. And so it's the same thing with the water. I can start with something as simple as the water. Before we were drinking purified water, it seemed like tap water was the best tasting water we ever drank. And then we stopped drinking tap water and started drinking pure water. And now we go back and try to drink a bottle of water. If we were really thirsty and somebody, hey, I got a bottle of water, you thirsty? I would refuse that bottle of water. I would just sit there and be thirsty, because I know when I drink that water, my body's going to have a reaction to it, because now it knows that it's not water, that it's full of toxins and it's full of poisons. So this is going to change your body for the better. It's going to change it by removing all of the fake food, the synthetics that we've eaten that has tricked our taste buds,
right,
that has tricked our brains. You know what I mean? Like aspartame, the chemicals that they put in the food, it's directly geared to alter how your brain is filtering things. Okay,
exactly.
No, that's not, okay, that's real, eat that. But it's tricking your mind and tell you that this food that you know is fake is real. And so it's going to drastically affect your body in a positive way. For somebody who hates Brussels sprouts, can't eat Brussels sprouts after you detox, and your taste buds actually taste Brussels sprouts for its genuinity that it is, you may be like, man, why didn't I like this in the beginning? Because your mind, your taste buds been tricked this whole time. So.
Right. You got it. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and pop over to the 21-day mucus elimination chart, where it's right there on the top on your screen. You can see it. Look right at it. Look. I want you guys to look at what's happening. Number one, we are removing mucus causing foods. This is where everything that Gabby read off, that now we got to get out all the box foods and all the popsicles, the Smoothie King. I see somebody have Smoothie King. Yes, Smoothie King. I love Smoothie King. Matter of fact, last summer they absolutely raped my wallet. And so I'm glad that we're doing this. They knew me. You know what I mean? I shook a lot of hands in Smoothie King. All right. You're going to learn to incorporate proper living foods that correlate with foods of our origin. What in the world is that, Gabby? Living foods. What are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about foods that still have the enzymes in there.
Exactly. So, and so when you say foods that don't have enzymes, this is where we take a piece of steak.
Yes.
That's dead.
Yes.
And it don't have the enzymes in it.
Nope, if it's cooked, it don't have enzymes.
So that means that if we take like bok choy or mustard greens and we just sear them for about 8 hours, we don't have the enzymes.
No, there's no enzymes in that.
See, so that's what we mean by living foods, because this is what's going to happen. Somebody put raw vegetables up early on in the comments. And I put thumbs up. You're exactly right. This is what's going to happen, because that's where you're going to begin to live. This is where your body is going to say, you know what? Everything that's in my body that's associated with a bacteria, right? Mm-hmm. A virus.
Yes.
Am I correct? Mm-hmm. Those things are going to be booted out.
Yes. Parasites.
They're going to be booted out. All right? You have another question somebody had about pregnancy up there, so I.
Are all the food recommendations of avoiding in the first 14-21 days safe for the short term?
All right, so look at this other one: detoxification of internal organs. All right, that's what's going to happen. All right, now look at this daily routine. This, you need to make sure that you primarily do these according to what's written here. Now, here's the other thing. There's another note about that, because here you can eat as much as you want of these things. All right? It has juice on there. It has soup, tea. You can have as much of this as you want, but that's all you can have. All right? So, juice. So what are we talking about when it's juice? Like, what do you have? So I go to Walmart and I get a big gallon of orange juice.
No, sir. No.
So what are we talking about?
So we're talking about, you buy your celery, you buy your zucchini or whatever green food, red food, yellow food, your peppers, your sweet peppers, and you're going to juice them. So if you have a juicer, you're going to juice them.
Gotcha. And that's going to
So you're making your juice.
You're making.
Yeah.
Do you hear this? So when we say you have to get prepared, you got to get prepared.
Yeah.
Because guess what? One slip, at preparation, one slip at planning, you may not get what we're expecting. One of my buddies keep talking about the arthritis that he has, in his hands. And I'm gonna make sure that JT, this is yours truly. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out right now. I'm shouting you out right here. But you're gonna have to make sure you prepare. So all of you folks who are, I know for us who are of the faith, we don't have a lot of extracurricular late night activity, running around, not making it home in time type of lifestyle. So our life, those who are of the faith, is about preparing. It's about preparing for something that is so far distant that you don't even understand. So preparation is what we're doing daily. So it's not going to be a hard thing for us. But if you come across this video and you're not used to preparation, then this is totally going to go over your head. You totally are going to dismiss some of the results that we know people are going to get from this. All right. Soups. Soups. Talk to us about soups, Gabby. What is the thing about soups here that you got wrote on here?
what I have, where is it? Oh, so with the soups, you're gonna do the same thing that you would do with your juicing.
All right. Where are those gonna come from? Like, what is the soup gonna be made of?
Your vegetables, same vegetables that you're gonna use to do your juicing.
Well, what about the herbs? What are the
You
herbs?
can put your herbs in there as well.
So your soups are gonna be made up of
So
vegetables
your
and herbs.
vegetables and herbs. So you can have celery in there. You can have, like I said, whatever green foods. Let me see. I have some down here. I have some written down. You can have your broccoli, your spinach, your bok choy, your cabbage, okra, zucchini, kale, collard greens, turnip greens, peas, mustard greens, your cucumbers, jalapenos. Okay, I don't recommend anybody if you're pregnant they're doing the jalapenos.
Hear that?
If you're late in pregnancy, don't do the jalapenos. Your green onions, your basil, your Brussels sprouts, things like that. You can make your soup out of that, and you can throw your turmeric in there. You can throw your garlic in there. Your ginger, if you want ginger. I like ginger carrot soup. So, but can't do carrots because they're not green. Darn, I gotta find them.
All right. So now we're coming down to the end part of, what,
There's no green carrots.
what we're looking at here on the chart here. All right. And so
Yellow carrots.
the 55-day personal journey to optimal health. Now this is where you've already gone through and you've completed the 21-day mucusless food intake. You've gone through the 14-day pre-stage protocol, and now we're down to the 55-day stretch. This is, for me, this is what I've always talked to my clients about. When I'm looking at a process like this, I call the first step the creation phase. All right, the creation phase is where we're starting to get things out. We're getting those things out first. All right, then we have, in the next process, we have what's called the customization phase. All right, the customization phase is now, when we go through that 21-day mucusless intake, that's going to allow us to, some of the things that Gabby was saying is that we're going to reshape our taste buds. We're going to reshape our thought process on what we, should be doing. And then, our last phase is where, we have, our lifestyle, where we're going to go for lifestyle. So we don't want to go back to those old habits where our dinners and our lunches and our breakfasts are 99.7% meat and 2% water and 1% vegetables. All right, we don't want to go through that type of meal structure anymore. Especially when you're someone who is 30 years of age and up, you definitely starting to experience different chemical processes in the body that you didn't experience at 19 and 20, and even the more so as you get up, in age. You definitely want to put less stress on the digestive system, and you want things to be easily digested. You want to add in more exercise, more things that is going to allow your body to function at a high and optimal level. All right, so here this 55-day process, this is where we're going to do personal tracking of proper intake. This is where we're going to incorporate the trilogy aspect, where you get a chance to utilize the trilogy app to get in. These meals will be in the trilogy app, so you ain't got to worry about plugging it in. If you've done what's necessary to follow along with us, then these meals will be in there. All right. And we'll talk about those things. The timing of the intake, that's where you when I say lifestyle, this is where you learn how to really build your process. This is where you want to really stick to eating and sleeping at the same time daily for these 55 days. You have to be a stickler during these 55 days in building your process. What about the feast? Enjoy yourself during the feast. But remember, you're going through those things which are necessary for the body. All right? So you just got to make sure that you are doing those things which are fitting and good. All right. Some of the other things that you're going to have during the 55-day process is number one, simple fitness activity. You're going to have a community of encouragement. This is where now those who have made it this far, those are the ones who we're going to really do some really cool things together, online and in person. All right. We're going to do some meal planning and cooking demos. All right. And here, this is what we want to do, giveaways, because obviously you have come through the process. You realize that health is the new wealth. You realize that health is extremely important to me. You know, you've ranked it high, and I saw someone put in the comments that don't make excuses. This is where I'm at. You know, I've been to feasts where I was on a strict controlled diet.
Yeah, and I still am.
Yeah.
I don't indulge when I go to the feast because I know the detriment that it can do to your body. You know, I think it's actually good for you to practice discipline and strengthen the self-will, because it's coming a time where it's going to be chaos and confusion in this world. It's unavoidable, whether you believe in Armageddon or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're going to have to be able to have that self-willed power to stand firm on what you're eating or what you're not eating. So, I can't indulge when I'm at a feast because I know it's going to affect my body.
All right. So here's some other things we have. We have MHI, which is Mother Herbal Instinct, live schedule here that's going to be pertaining strictly to what's going to be coming up with this. Have the dates, the time, so you can go ahead and mark that on your calendar to be a part of those. Now, these are not the only things that you're going to see her do from her Herbally Defined YouTube page, but there'll be other things that just be on the lookout, be a part of the process. And so, we thank you all for being a part. Again, if you have not had the opportunity to let us know that you want to be a part of this, then do so, by putting your contact information in the comment bar. But, before we close out, I'm going to let, Gabby, she want to share some things with you about, what to expect here, in this process. Because, one thing that you can't discount, in the process is that people are going to experience change. People are going to experience, the fact that their body is not going to have what it's, had been used to having. And so, people, then once they start to go through change, like some of the things that you're going to mention, this is where people give up. This is where people go through and they begin to let themselves down because, one of the things that's for me is willpower. And I've seen enough people start and stop, and quit. And they end up quitting on their own process, where I've gone and I've gotten, some good results. One thing about me now, I've been building a lot of muscle. I've been busy traveling in and out of town. There's some things that have definitely changed with me that I know I want to go and do and fix, with my health and just with my body. And so one thing Gabby can tell you about me is that, if I ever, have anything going on with my body that I don't like, when I get focused, I get it done. I come right back and, here it is years later. I look just like the nice and tight, strong warrior that she met years ago. And that's what I intend on being. I don't know about you, but that's what I do. So what can we expect, Gabby? You had some things in the packet that you had, wanted people to pay attention to. So what are some of those things?
Yes, sir. You can expect the worst, the ugly, okay? Most of the time we enter into things and we're not told what to expect. And so when some of the symptoms end up happening, we think that it's an adverse reaction or it's a negative effect that's not supposed to happen. And we immediately stop. Like, okay, this can't be right. Okay, maybe I'm allergic to this. Okay, so what I want you guys to know you're going to expect is this. So that way you know that there's progress. What we're normally not taught is when the ugly happens, that means progress.
Right.
We're taught that when ugly happens, that means bad. You need to stop. But it means progress. And so your body's going through a whole detox. It's a total body detox is what's going on. So you will experience gas, bad gas. You will experience the expelling of urine. Now, you shouldn't pee on yourself. Everybody should have a pelvic floor. I don't think anybody has had 20 babies to where the pelvic floor is completely gone. And I don't think any males, you shouldn't have any issue controlling your urine. But what I mean is you're going to be frequently urinating. You're going to have black bowel, especially the first 14 days, because you're going to be doing the colon cleanse, okay? The colon cleanse is going to be pushing so much stuff out and killing at the same time that your bowel will probably be slightly black. It won't be the normal color that it normally is. And you're going to see a lot of mucus. You're going to see a lot of mucus coming out through your bowel, and you're going to see a lot of mucus probably draining from your nose. You're going to notice that you may have mucus draining into your throat. It's draining. This is good signs that what you're doing is actually happening. That's yay, okay? That means keep going. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel faint, nauseated, like you got low energy. You're going to feel sluggish, and you might have slight headaches. When you start feeling this, that's letting you know that all of the bad stuff is getting into your bloodstream quicker than it is being released. So this is why I always encourage and recommend you to keep drinking water. The more that you're hydrated, the quicker that the stuff is going to come out of your system, because you're going to keep peeing. You're going to keep using the restroom. If you're dehydrated, you're causing constipation. Okay? You're going to have, uh-oh, honey. Oh, okay, right there. Okay. Sorry. Up a little bit. Okay. So this is the normal sign that your body is just detoxing quickly, which is good. Okay, you're gonna visit the restroom very often during this cleanse. Don't worry, don't think something's wrong with you. It's only temporary. Increase your water intake and stay hydrated. You will experience bad breath and a burst of breakouts on different parts of your body. Some people get breakouts all down here. So if you notice, what I have on the sheet is I have a face diagram that is numbered. Whatever area of your body that breaks out on your face is usually the sign telling you that it's a certain part of the system in your body that is being detoxed and is being worked on. Okay, that may have been a problematic area that would eventually would have arose, would have eventually arose later on in life. And so that breakout is showing you that detoxification, that you probably had a whole bunch of mucus on that area of your body. So if you look at the screen, there's a facial chart showing you right now. These are different areas on your body that may possibly break out. Some people may not experience the breakouts in their face. They may experience the breakouts in their back. They may experience it on their neck. They may experience it on their chest. On the thighs, on the leg. It's just showing you different areas where you have a buildup of parasites. You have a buildup of toxins, heavy toxins that have just been laden into your system, laden into the adipose tissue for years, okay? So the breakouts are a sign that the parasites are being removed and the toxins are actually coming out. You may also experience mind fogginess and joint soreness. You might experience in your mind, you might be going through the little doubled my, no, I don't like that. Okay, yes, okay. You might start going through, like, the spirits are starting to manifest. You're going to be real sure about something, then you'll be like, well, am I sure? So you're going to experience mind fogginess. This is good, okay? That means it is doing what it's supposed to do. You start experiencing them spirits, now you know you can get you some deliverance too, because these spirits are going to be getting restless too, mentally. You'll know now that if you start experiencing a lot of mental issues going on, then you know now that your mind was probably being controlled already by a host of spirits that are now being exposed because they don't have those proteins. They don't have that sugar that was been feeding them all along. That little sugar demon's getting exposed. That little spirit of infirmity is getting exposed because it's no longer being fed. So you're going to experience mind fogginess, joint soreness. I repeat, all of this is normal. The worst days are going to be day 2, 3, and 4. Okay? The first day is always good. Because you're still riding off of the food you had the day before. You riding off of what you already had. The second day is horrible. I think that's the worst of the worst. And then the third day is kind of... But 2, 3, and 4 are the worst days. Once you make it past day 4, you're going to be good. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that's what you need to expect. So you don't give up. You don't give in.
Exactly.
Get some deliverance. Because if your mind you start talking about no, and then you say yes.
Gotcha.
That's when you know.
All right. So to close out, in the packet you'll see an initial startup where I put up on the screen the Colo Cleanse is $32. The vegetarian digestive enzyme is it's $30, and then what we're doing, just the overall initial startup cost for us to go through the coaching and distributing information, that's $25. So that is $87 total for this, because I know people who are outside the ministry who are not directly tied to us, that was wondering how do we do this? What will it cost me? So we wanted to make sure we include that, but those who are in there, they can understand there's some other things that Sister Gabby will be doing in terms of consultations. That's included in the packet. Meal planning, that all the things that we do, that's in the packet. But she can talk to you about that later. You can ask questions once the broadcast is done. She wanted to say something, and then our time has come to a end, and I know we've been on here for a while, but go ahead.
I'm hungry.
Is there anything you want to say, Judy?
Oh yeah, with the vegetarian digestive enzyme, that's 120 capsules. Most things that you purchase are only like 60 or 30 capsules, so it's 120 capsules, and then the Colo Cleanse is 16 ounces. So it's gonna last you. Exactly. It's gonna last you a while. Right.
So we're not making a whole heap of money off of this. I know there were some late hours in trying to get this in, falling asleep with the babies in the arms and a lot of different things. So we're trying to do what it is just to help bring light to people, and then particularly our people. So you don't have to go digging in. We are digging into this because one, we want to be healthy, but then when we find out that it's making us healthier, then we want to help others do that, and in turn, just really live the life that we have and take care of the temples that we have. This one temple that you're given with the best possible mental, spiritual, and physical efforts that we can. So hey, with that being said, hey, I'm Corey Phillips here with Trilogy Sports. This is Gabrielle with Herbally Defined Mother's Herbal Instincts. And we're glad that you all have tuned in with us. If you have any questions, make sure you leave it in the comment box. Sister Gabby will still be answering questions over the next 30 minutes or so. And then those of you all who have not received packets, we can make sure that we get your email in the database and get you a email packet. We will be doing some other things as we go through to get you included into the private community that we're going to have, because we want you to tell your testimonies. There are some things we're going to tell openly, but then there are some private testimonials that we want to share as a community, what we're doing, you know, on how we're feeling, you know, what do we notice, what, you know, what are some of the things. Take pictures, weigh yourself, you know what I mean, mark the journey, you know, be a part of your own process, because this is what excites me, is that, you know, we are doing something, we are going on towards making a change. And you know, lastly, if you're someone who's going to come across this video that you wasn't here to view it live and you want to come in, it don't matter, you can come in day 90, because that starts your process to change, your new day. And guess what, as long as we have breath in our body, we're here to answer questions, to help you through the process. I saw some other questions about, well, how long does it take to get the colo cleanse? Well, maybe, you know, if you don't have yours, we've already been planning this. You know, the Indiana Saints, you know, they already, because we've been talking about this behind the scenes, because we wanted to make sure that we were prepared to do what it is that we wanted to do to help others and help ourselves. So some people have already been privy to it, but if you don't have any of the products, then again, make sure you leave your information in the contact, you know, in the comments box, so that we can get you what you need to get started, so that you may do the process properly. So hey, with that being said, hey, you all have a great day. I'm Corey Phillips again, that's Gabrielle, and hey, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks.